A dream I know, deep up my feelings for you. Watch.
Hello reality viewers, welcome back again to Reality Latest Gist, the home of news and politics. For this channel, we dey drop news every day and we dey react to every videos wey comes our way. And na reality news now we dey drop for this channel, and we dey also dey talk am as e be. If today na the first time we say you dey come across this channel, you are highly welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are returning subscribers, I appreciate all of una for una massive support to this channel. I say may God bless all of una in Jesus name. Amen. I get video wey I want present to una this very moment, and I go dey follow una dey watch the video. After we don watch am together, make we drop our opinion constructively for the comment section. Like our videos and also share our videos if possible. Bye for now.
All right. Good evening, great Biafrans. Good evening. Welcome. Udoka Philip. Greetings from here. I welcome Biafrans all over the world, wherever you are hearing the sound of my voice. I hope I am coming out loud and clear. I don't know if this is clear enough as it should be. All right. Thank you very much for joining me. I think we need to start right away. Thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom, great Biafrans, wonderful people, beautiful people. My name is Nnamdi, and of course, today is the 12th day of February 2022, the year of our Lord. I just thought I should come up on air this evening to talk about some issues, but of course it's more of an intro because I am going to give the 100% lecture. The totality of it will be on Radio Biafra, and of course that will be on Monday. But I want to touch on a couple of things very, very important. As you might have seen me wrote there on the topic line, I spoke about jurisdiction and law of legality. Now, first of all, let's start with jurisdiction. Let us start with jurisdiction. For those of you who are following me, you might have seen me written on my Facebook wall, or rather posted what Barrister Aloy Ejimako wrote. It's not basically what he wrote, but it's what he tweeted. It is a case of South Africa. As you know, in law, there is what we call precedence. Precedence is case that has been decided before. It forms a precedence going forward, meaning that you can actually quote it in a court of law with regards to a present case. Now, let's say for the issue of our leader, we're talking about extraordinary rendition. Remember, there has been decided cases that dealt with extraordinary rendition. So, as a lawyer, you need to put those cases in court of law because every constitution allows the courts to make use of international law, to make use of their own local common laws, and of course to actually make use of court precedents. Now let's say I committed an offense today and I went into trial. At the end of the day, I won that case. It becomes a precedence. Whether I won or I lose, it becomes a precedence. Tomorrow, somebody else can refer back to my case and say, State versus Ikechukwu. This is how it was decided. Now you can use it as a lawyer to better your present case. It is called case precedence. It has a force. It has a force. It has overwhelming, compelling force for courts to listen to precedents of courts. Now, as we know, there are many cases that have been decided when it comes to the issue of extraordinary rendition, whereby the court has said, because this person was extraordinary rendiated from this country to that country, automatically the court loses jurisdiction to try that case. Our leader was rendiated from Kenya to the Zoo Court, Nigeria. And for that simple reason, Nigerian court does not have jurisdiction to try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, like I said, I'm going to start first of all with the word jurisdiction because I know it's going to be a bit confusing for those who don't understand the law. Now, for the sake of a layman and to bring it into a layman term, or rather a layman perspective, let me explain to you first of all what is jurisdiction. Now, jurisdiction is very simple. Every court has her own inherent jurisdiction, meaning if there is a magistrate court in Umuahia, for instance, a magistrate court in Umuahia, it has its own area of jurisdiction, area where it oversights, area where it, supervises. So whatever happens around that court area of jurisdiction falls under the jurisdiction of that court of Umuahia, that magistrate court in Umuahia. And that magistrate court in Umuahia must hear the matter. Say somebody was arrested in Umuahia, he stole something in the market, they took him to the police station, and the police charged the person to court. The court the person must attend is what? Umuahia Magistrate Court. Why? Because it falls within the jurisdiction of Umuahia. If somebody steals in Umuahia market, you cannot take them to Owerri main market. Are you listening? You cannot take them to Owerri Magistrate Court, I beg your pardon. If somebody steals in Umuahia market, you cannot charge them to Owerri Magistrate Court, because Owerri Magistrate Court does not have jurisdiction to hear the matter that happened in Umuahia. That is what is called jurisdiction. Owerri Magistrate Court is interested on the people that falls within her own area of jurisdiction, the people that lives around Owerri, the people that does business in Owerri, the people that, reside in Owerri. They are considered as the people who reside under the jurisdiction of Owerri Magistrate Court. So if anything happens that they have to find themselves in court, they must go to Owerri Magistrate Court. Even if, because remember, there are cases that are way above the jurisdiction of a magistrate court, like claims in terms of money, like maybe it's a rape case, maybe it's a case of terrorism, a case that attracts, huge amount of sentencing. They might be referred to Umuahia High Court or Umuahia Supreme Court, because now it has gone way above the jurisdiction of the courts. Now, I don't want to make it complicated for us, but I'm trying to break it down so that you can understand the meaning of jurisdiction. So, what am I saying? If anything happens within the jurisdiction of Umuahia Magistrate Courts, then that case must be heard in Umuahia Magistrate Courts. The person cannot be taken to Owerri. The person cannot be taken to Olo. The person cannot be taken to Okigwe. The person must be taken to Umuahia Magistrate Court, because that's where the person lives and that's where the incident took place. Now, that is what we call jurisdiction. And it is called an inherent jurisdiction. Now, there are jurisdictions that sounds in terms of money. Each court have an amount of money it is allowed to supervise over. Let's say I take you to Umuahia Magistrate Court and I'm claiming 1 billion naira from you. Umuahia Magistrate Court has to check her inherent jurisdiction. Am I allowed as Umuahia Magistrate Court to hear this matter, since this guy is talking about 1 billion? I don't know if you get what I mean. Because every magistrate court has a minimum amount of money it can do what? Supervise over, it can listen to, it can hear over. There's a limit of amount of money. Maybe Umuahia Magistrate Court is allowed to hear only 1 million naira suit. If the suit is 2 million naira, Umuahia Magistrate Court can no longer do what? Listen to you. They will refer you to Umuahia High Court, because the money is now above their jurisdiction. So that is jurisdiction sounding in money. Now, I don't want to go into the details of different kinds of jurisdiction, but the jurisdiction I want to talk about this evening is the jurisdiction, the inherent jurisdiction of a court. That inherent jurisdiction simply means that Umuahia Magistrate Court is competent to supervise, to sit, to hear any matter that happens around Umuahia, any matter that falls within the jurisdiction of that court. Umuahia Magistrate Court have the jurisdiction to hear that. You cannot take a case that was supposed to be heard at Umuahia Magistrate Court to Owerri. Or when they will chase you back, they will refer you and say, go back to Umuahia. We don't have jurisdiction to hear your matter. Umuahia must hear it, because that is where you live and that is where the matter actually took place. The same thing happens with the police. If the police arrest you, you committed a crime in Main Market or Nature. When the police arrest you in Main Market, they will look for a police station that is within that vicinity. They will ask themselves a question: where does Main Market or Nature fall into? Which police station does Main Market or Nature falls into? Then you will realize that it falls within the CPS on Nature. There is this central police station on Nature, the one that is in GRA. That is where on Nature Main Market falls in. So they will take you to CPS on Nature. They are not going to take you to Fege police station. They are not going to take you to Omoba police station. They are not going to take you to Mpo police station, but rather they will take you to CPS on Nature, because that is the closest police station to Main Market on Nature. I'm talking jurisdiction right now. If they take you to Fege police station, that case is dead. It is wrong. It is oxymoron. They cannot do it. They're not allowed to do that. They must take you to the police station that have jurisdiction over the place where the thing happened. It is called crime scene. Where is the crime scene? The crime scene is at Main Market on Nature. Then you must go to CPS on Nature, because CPS on Nature is the immediate police station that supervises that area of jurisdiction. I hope we got that clear. Now, the question I asked was this: does Abuja High Court and Binta Nyako have jurisdiction to hear the case of Nnamdi Kanu? That was the question that I asked, and I'm here to answer that question. But before I answer that question, let's talk about principle of legality. What is principle of legality? Principle of legality is, I'm going to summarize it in a nutshell. I'm not going to drag it. I'm not going to make it ambiguous so that you get confused the more. But let's talk about principle of legality. What is principle of legality? Principle of legality is the ability of the court to do the right thing. Principle of legality is ability of the court to operate within the ambit of the law. Principle of legality is the ability of a court to follow the rule of law. Principle of legality is the ability of the court to listen to the Constitution, which is the supreme law that guides every other law that is within, that is below it. As a court, you must follow the principle of legality in anything you do. If anything is illegal, as a court, you are not allowed to do it. Like I'm talking about jurisdiction. If I am a magistrate court in Umuahia, and I am a magistrate in Umuahia Magistrate Court, and they bring a suspect, they bring an accused person to court, and I realize that this person does not fall within my area of jurisdiction, that this person lives in Owerri, and they brought him to Umuahia for me as a magistrate to try, I will recuse myself. I will tell them I am not going to supervise over this matter, and I'm telling you to take this person back to Owerri. That is principle of what? Legality. You cannot legalize bad things. You cannot legalize illegalities to become legal in a court as a judge or as a magistrate or whatever you are. No, you must ensure that anything that happens in court is legal. No illegal activity. Anything that is in contrary to the constitution of the country, anything that is in contrary to the legislation must not pass in your court as a magistrate and as a judge. You see, I try to explain this principle of legality in a common terms so that we all can understand what I'm talking about when I mention the word principle of legality. So that is principle of legality. Now, I've explained to you jurisdiction, and I'm going to summarize it before I go into details of what I have for you. Jurisdiction, meaning that if you live in Umuahia and you have to go to court, you commit a crime or somebody committed a crime against you, you must go to Umuahia Court, either Umuahia Magistrate Court or Umuahia High Court or Umuahia Supreme Court for appeal, depending on the issue that you are going for. But it must be in Umuahia what? Azix. That is what? Jurisdiction. You cannot jump from Umuahia to Owerri. You cannot jump from Umuahia to what? To Lagos. No. unless, let's assume there is no high court on Umuahia, then there must be another high court that take care of Umuahia. Maybe that high court is in Okigwe, or maybe that high court is in Owerri. Then now you can go to Owerri. But as long as there is magistrate court, high court, appeal court, or whatever in Umuahia, you must go to Umuahia. It is called jurisdiction. All right, let's continue. I have explained to you about jurisdiction, and I've also explained to you about principle of legality. So now I asked a question. The question I asked was, does Binta Nyako and Abuja High Court have jurisdiction to hear Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case? And the answer is a simple no. Capital N-O, no. There are many case studies. There are many cases that has taken place. Like I've said, it is called court precedents. It is called precedents of courts, which should be taken into consideration while dealing with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was because he was rendiated from Kenya to the zoo called Nigeria, automatically, Binta Nyako and Abuja High Court have lost jurisdiction to hear that matter. Very simple. Because in terms of jurisdiction, jurisdiction cannot be conferred onto a court by illegality. Let me repeat. Jurisdiction cannot be conferred upon a court through illegality. A court must assume jurisdiction based on legality. You cannot legalize illegal activities to make it legal. This is how Binta Nyako and Abuja High Court have lost jurisdiction to hear Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's courts. The only court that may hear a case, if there is any, is Kenya High Court. Because that is where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was arrested initially. Let's put it that way. Let's assume for interest's sake that he was arrested, because we know he wasn't arrested in Kenya. It was also abduction. But let's assume for interest's sake, let's play the devil advocates. Let's assume that our leader was arrested in Kenya. Kenya High Court is the one that must hear the courts. Then whoever arrested him must go and tell Kenya courts why they arrested Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And this is where the case will be put into test, trial. And at the end of the day, of course, judgment will be pronounced and we will know whether they are right or wrong. But you cannot abduct Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to the zoo called Nigeria. And now you want to legalize that activity because abduction is a crime on its own. Abduction on its own is a crime against humanity. And for that simple reason that abduction is a crime on its own, and then you bring him into Abuja High Court, and now you want to legalize that abduction. This is where principle of legality comes in. Because already we are dealing with an illegal activity, which is abduction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to the zoo called Nigeria. Automatically, Abuja High Court and Binta Nyako have lost jurisdiction. Now, what our lawyers have to do in court on the 16th is very simple. They are going to bring an application. As a matter of fact, they have already made an application which we are waiting to hear come the 16th. But if they must bring another application, it will be to tell the court, based on precedents, case precedents, they are going to quote different cases where such a thing has taken place and what was the outcome and what was the verdict of the courts. There is one that happened here in South Africa. I posted it on my wall, whereby a man was abducted from another country, transferred to South Africa. When they got to the court, the judge told them, I cannot try this man because I don't have jurisdiction to try him. You must take him back to where you got him from. Why did he say that? Because whatever crime that man must have committed does not fall within the jurisdiction of that court. And that court cannot legalize their illegal activity in order for that court to try that man. And this is what should be happening in Abuja High Court. They should be squashing the matter, they should be squashing the case and throw it into the garbage bin where it belongs. It's as simple as that. Binta and Nyako have no business to entertain such case. Binta and Nyako have no, business whatsoever to even listen to DSS. Because already the process is flawed. The process is flawed. When I say process, what am I talking about? I'm talking the process from Kenya to the Zoo Court Nigeria is already flawed. It did not follow principle of legality. It did not follow any known jurisdiction. It did not follow any process that is legal before the law. It was illegal. To adopt somebody is an illegal activity. And that is exactly what the zoo did when they adopted him from Kenya to the Zoo Court Nigeria. If they wanted to legalize it, if they wanted it to be legal, what the zoo should have done is this, to apply for extradition. Because as far as I know, the zoo and Kenya have an extradition treaty. And because they have an extradition treaty, that extradition treaty allows the Zoo Court Nigeria to apply for extradition so that Kenya can extradite Nnamdi Kanu back to the zoo. As soon as Kenya extradites Nnamdi Kanu back to the zoo, Abuja High Court will immediately, automatically, it will be triggered. They will assume jurisdiction right away by the way of that extradition. When you ask Abuja, why are you sitting over Nnamdi Kanu case? Why are you hearing the matter? They will tell you there is extradition paper here. There are extradition documents. And based on this extradition documents, jurisdiction has been conferred on us as a court. But Abuja cannot boldly tell you now that they have the jurisdiction paper. Abuja cannot tell you boldly that they have a jurisdiction document that conferred jurisdiction to hear Nnamdi Kanu case on them. They don't have it. They have zero. They have nothing. And therefore, they've lost jurisdiction. And you cannot try a case without jurisdiction. This is very, very important. It's very crucial. You cannot try a matter without jurisdiction. Abuja need to prove to the whole of the Zoo Court Nigeria. Abuja High Court have to prove to the whole world that they have jurisdiction to hear Nnamdi Kanu's case. And how are they going to do that? They have to present us with the extradition documents. Because that is the only thing. Why? Because Nnamdi Kanu, at the time of his abduction, he was not in the Zoo Court Nigeria. He was outside. He was overseas. And the only thing can make you a local court to try somebody who is overseas is extradition. So if you don't have that extradition document, then of course you have lost jurisdiction. You don't have the moral ground to try such a person. The legality is gone. Whatever you are doing is illegal. Principle of legality cannot be said to be present in any activity that you are actually operating at that moment. So as you can see, Abuja High Court, Binta Nyako, have no jurisdiction whatsoever to hear the case of Nnamdi Kanu. If they go ahead to hear the case of our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, it simply means that they are legalizing illegality. And that cannot be. That cannot be, because a court must be pure. A court must be holy. A court must follow the rule of law. A court must be seen to be fair, impartial, because it is a place of justice. If Binta and Nyako continues to hear that matter, it simply means that the case has already been decided. Why? Because by hearing over the matter that you have no jurisdiction over as a judge, it means that you have an intention. We cannot trust you. Because when a case comes to court, There are things that a judge or magistrate does first. They need to do what we call a checklist. The checklist is number one, do we have jurisdiction over this accused person? Where was this person arrested and how? These are the questions a court asks. Do we have jurisdiction over this individual? Where and how was this person arrested? This is very, very important for a court to clear the air. The reason why the court asks those questions is very simple. They ask those questions so that they don't waste their time as a court. They don't waste their time and go ahead for months and months and begin to supervise over a matter and begin to hear over a matter, and then at the end of the day, an appeal will be brought in the case whereby the accused person is found guilty. Appeal will come in, and when the case goes for an appeal, then they will realize that the court did not follow, the right process. The rule of law, principle of legality, no jurisdiction whatsoever, and yet they went ahead to hear the matter. The case will be overturned. Very simple, very easy. So I think this will be a very easy one for our defense counsels. It will be a very easy one for our senior counsels, Ifeanyi Ejiofor and Lawyer Ejimako, and their team of attorneys. It's going to be pretty easy for them because, like I said, to start with, Abuja have no right whatsoever. Abuja have no reason whatsoever to be hearing this matter. And if that is so, then there is no case to answer. There is no case to answer. The only verdict that we expect at the end of the day is unconditional release, discharge and acquit, an acquittal of the accused person. That is the only verdict we expect to hear on the 16th. Unless, which we know there might be something that we don't know. Of course, you know how it is in the zoo. Binta Nyako might be doing whatever she's doing to please her paymasters. Because if she want to be a very fearless judge, she must call it out. She must say it the way it is. She must release Nnamdi Kanu because she will tell them, I don't have jurisdiction to sit over this case. And for that reason, I am not going to hear this matter. And that's exactly what Binta Nyako should be doing. She must and she has to do the needful come the 16th of February 2022. All right, we must continue. Now, that is briefly what I wanted to explain with regards to jurisdiction and principle of legality, and also, precedents, decided cases that has dealt with such matter and how did it end. And of course, I'm glad to tell you that those matters were squashed. It was thrown out of court because the court found out that it has no jurisdiction. Because as soon as a court finds out that it has no jurisdiction to hear a particular matter, what do the court do? They will just drop the case off their roll. That is what the law demands that they do. All right, we must continue. So, our second point that we're going to talk about is this: IPOB versus the rest of the world. IPOB versus the rest of the world. Some people don't know. Some people don't understand. Some people lack wisdom when we talk about IPOB. You will see a fool, you will see a moron jumping up and down. Naga school. You will see them making noise. All they do in their life is to follow. You follow this person, you follow that person, but you don't think. You don't sit down for 1 second and reason. No, you don't. You just follow. You never wait a minute and ask yourself, what is it about this IPOB? What is it? What is it that they have that each and every time we try to crack them, they still remain formidable? Each and every time we try to destroy IPOB still remain unshakable, immovable, Rock of Gibraltar. My goodness me. Have you ever asked yourself the question? Now, let me explain to you, especially to these amateurs and others mugus everywhere. Let me explain to you. The zoo called Nigeria is richer than all the Sabo put together. I hope you are aware of that. The zoo called Nigeria has spent millions in dollars, millions in pounds, millions in euros, trying to destroy this IPOB. And yet, IPOB does not have a lot. They don't have much to fight the might of the zoo. But yet, the zoo could not make good their threats. Yet, the zoo were unable to pull IPOB down. Have you ever asked yourself why? What is it about IPOB? If the zoo called Nigeria in all their money, in all the stolen wealth from Biafra land, cannot pull down IPOB, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you? What makes you think that you have all it takes to attack the might of IPOB? People don't understand what IPOB stands for. They don't understand what IPOB signifies. If it was easy, if IPOB is like one of those fly-by-night freedom fighting outfits, if IPOB is like one of those Facebook freedom fighting outfits, by now we would have kissed IPOB goodbye. There wouldn't be anything called IPOB by now. But because IPOB is more, there is more into IPOB that you can never comprehend. There is more about IPOB that you cannot comprehend, which makes you to be behaving the way you are behaving. You know, the Bible said, who goes to war without counting the cost of war? The Bible said, who goes to war without counting the cost of war? Do you know how you know it's a volleyball? Every time you see them, they keep on, get away, Mugu, get away, Mugu, get away. That's what they do. It's a volleyball. Because if you're educated, if there is something upstairs, if you have something in your head, you know anybody who is educated, you barely see them fight. You barely see them shout. No, they don't. They just make an argument. A constructive argument. They make their statement. They make their submission. But in whom it's volleyball, as I'm broadcasting now, you will see them. They will come to this platform and I call on it's volleyball. I say girls school. Chai. I say girls school. Guess in here on the way now it is grace. So when it is grace family, it is grace negative and nine. It's volleyball. He will come to this platform now. God punish you. Mugu. God punish you. DOS criminal. Ndoshi. That is a sign of it's volleyball. Illiterate, core illiterate. As a gas school, they say, boy, Bobala boy, boy, also gets a go Ibo. You got 20 years ago, they won't be able to achieve. That is the sign of illiteracy, the sign of it's volleyball. But a great mind, a big mind thinks, a big mind analyze things before they make a statement. Do you understand? You came out into this world, you heard about IPOB, or let me say, you heard about Biafra, but you never took time to ask yourself, what exactly is Biafra? And what happened? And what is it about that name? And what is it about Biafra? But unfortunately, Umwiti Bolibo, your drunkard father did not explain to you very well now. And this Napolo Akawasalari of Fuma. Your drunkard father don't know a village name Menshi Akawaharaga about Biafra. Of course, a child must be like the father now. You are behaving like your father, drunkard, now Sunshine village. And you are continuing like that. You are going to school so that you can be somebody in life. You don't want to go to school. You want to live in Facebook. Thank God there is no bed in Facebook. There is no bed in Facebook. Because most of these infiltrators and most of these people are on Facebook. IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra. Now let me tell you the secret. Indigenous people of Biafra. IPOB. Indigenous people of Biafra. Let me tell you something. Get together. On Facebook about war na basaga. But IPOB were not like that. We don't have time for nonsense. We are here to fight for Biafra, and that is what we are fighting for. And we must continue to fight for Biafra. We don't have time to come and begin to shout, negi, nagi, nnyaòòśły. No, we don't do that crap. It is only Umwiti that does that nonsense. Let me tell you something. IPOB. Let's start with the name. What is the meaning of IPOB? I'm asking Umwiti on our platform. What is the meaning of IPOB? Of course, real freedom fighters, real Umuchineke, they are here. They know exactly what is IPOB. But I'm asking Umuyawa, what is the meaning of IPOB? Now, IPOB is called the Indigenous People of Biafra. Let me repeat. IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra. Now, let me ask you. You that is here now, even on this platform, shouting, Koishi maybe. Are you an indigenous person of Biafra? Are you an indigenous person of Biafra? If you are an indigenous person of Biafra, then you are what? A member of IPOB by default. Without you even registering, without you even carrying card, you have become an indigenous what? Person of Biafra. So when you get up tomorrow to fight against IPOB, do you know what you are doing? You are fighting against yourself. When you get up to fight against IPOB, you are fighting against yourself. Because remember, you are also an indigenous person of Biafra. You know what it's like? It's like you going to a native doctor, and the doctor will say to you, native doctor will tell you, so who do you want me to kill for you? You say, I want you to kill Ikechukwu for me, and yet you are Ikechukwu. Does it make sense? You are Ikechukwu. You are telling the native doctor, I want you to kill Ikechukwu for me. Does it make sense? Because what you are doing does not make sense. You are fighting IPOB, but you are an indigenous person of Biafra yourself. You are a Biafran. You are indigenous. You are in Biafra land or wherever you are. But yet you are fighting IPOB. Don't you see it's not making sense at all. Maybe. That is number one reason why you will never win against IPOB, because you cannot win against yourself. You cannot win against yourself. How do you go and fight against you? How do you go and fight against Onoha family? How do you go and, because I'm Onoha as well. So how do you go and fight against your family? How do you go and fight against who you are? That was the same stupidity of the so-called governors. That was the same stupidity. When they were proscribing IPOB, they made a very huge blunder. When they were proscribing IPOB, the so-governors, they made a huge blunder. What was the blunder that they made? They forgot that even them, the governor, they are also IPOB. They are also indigenous person of what? Biafra. They made a mistake. They never thought about it. They thought that IPOB is just a name. No, IPOB is not just a name. IPOB is an umbrella that covers all the indigenous person of Biafra. We all are under IPOB. It's an umbrella. So when you are shouting, IPOB, kill them, you are also shouting, kill me too. Because you are an indigenous person of Biafra. Unless Hausa Fulani or Turimen Negi. Unless Hausa Fulani Menegini Turimen Negi. All Hausa Fulani Turimen Negi, then of course you know you are not an indigenous person of Biafra. But all then of course you are indigenous person of Biafra. That is your number one downfall. When you are fighting IPOB. When you are fighting IPOB, you are fighting against yourself, because you cannot fight against yourself and win. I'm giving you a secret, but some of you are not even listening to me. I am giving you a secret why you can never win against IPOB. It's a very simple secret. Why you can never win against IPOB is because you are fighting against yourself. You are fighting against your father. You are fighting against your mother. You are fighting against your family because you, your mother, your father, indigenous persons of Biafra. And IPOB means indigenous people of Biafra. Umiti Bolibo. Umiti. Itim Pataka. And jumping like headless chicken. But you don't reason. You don't digest things. You don't sit down and think. You think coming to Facebook to shout, Indiara, God punish you. You think that is it? No! You need to make sense. You need to make sense. You need to make sense. When you fight, you make sense. When you talk, you make sense. You think about what you want to say before you say it. Aburugono, Abudregono. Because of common recharge card 1,000 naira, you start misbehaving. Common recharge card of 1,000 naira, you start selling your father's land. Because of common recharge card 2,000 naira, you start selling your birthright. Aburugono. And yet, your family is so proud of you. You are their son. They believe that one day you'll be successful. Is this how you're going to be successful? By selling your birthright for 1,000 naira recharge card. It be like say you're shame, they shame me. Since you is in here, it be like say you're shame, they shame me. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the secret of IPOB. People think that maybe I will all no be juju, maybe juju be that. It's a very simple law of nature, but you need to understand it. IPOB is not so strong, not so formidable because they are into black magic or some juju power. No. It's a very simple law of nature. Why is IPOB formidable? Why? I'm telling you now the secret of IPOB. I'm telling you why IPOB is so powerful. I am telling you why IPOB is so formidable. I am telling you why the zoo called Nigeria have tried and could not destroy IPOB. I am telling you why Britain have tried but cannot destroy IPOB. It's very simple. IPOB is an umbrella. You cannot destroy a village. It's like in Ijebon, Sikija village, you know. It's like going to your village and you want to check on the ball. You want to go and do juju magic power for your village. Are you listening? Will it work? Will it work? I'm asking you. If you go to your village now and you want to do if the village you need if her work, you don't go work. You need to go near Kru village. Have you heard of anybody who have actually bewitched their village? And when you go near Kru village, a whole village or a whole town, that is how IPOB is like. Muamugu, I'm telling you what makes IPOB formidable. I am trying to explain to you what makes IPOB so powerful. IPOB is not an individual. Because even the same person that is fighting IPOB is an IPOBian. By default, IPOB simply means the indigenous people of Biafra. And you that is sabotaging, you are sabotaging yourself. You are sabotaging your family. You are sabotaging your mother, your father, your brothers and sisters, because they are all indigenous persons of Biafra. Let me ask you, the Fulani are in Biafra land killing people. Tell me, before the Fulani shoot anybody in Biafra land, before the Fulani shoot our youth, do they ask them, hey, who are you? Hey, who are you? Are you an IPOB member? I'm asking you, before a Fulani shoots you in Biafra land, will he ask you, a Fulani man, Kai, Namburoba, Kachipo, IPOB ne? Apoy IPOB. Do they ask you that first before they shoot you? No. They shoot you whoever, once they see any youth All of you are what? IPOB. All of you are what? IPOB. Even those guys, you see, there are some Umiti volleyball on this platform who are fighting. If Fulani see you tomorrow in Biafra, they will shoot you straight. Chicken, they won't even ask you who you are. No. When Fulani goes and begin to put houses on fire, most of the houses they put on fire belong to Sabotage. But Fulani don't care. They don't know who is who. They don't know who is a Sabo. They don't know who is IPOB. All of you together are Anyamri. All of you are Anyamri. Unamumu never do. Unamumu never do. Unamumu never do. Who interests are you protecting? Are you protecting the interests of Fulani? Nah, Please, let's reason together. I beg, make we check this thing well, I beg. I used to think that they say that we are the most intelligent people on earth. What think can happen now? Where is our intelligence? Chai. What think can happen? I they ask my people. Shebi they say we be the most intelligent people on earth. What think can happen? Where is that intelligence? I they ask now. Shebi before with the insult Fulani people, with they say Aboki Merowa, Aboki Kanga, Aboki this one, Aboki that, Aboki Mewara, Aboki this one. We put them so low because we believe we are so intelligent. I'm asking you today, where is your intelligence? Where is your intelligence? Because what is happening now is that, you know what it's like? People have embarked on a suicide mission. People have embarked on a suicide mission. What is the suicide mission? They give them a knife. They say to them, go and kill DOS. They give them a knife. Go and kill DOS. But before you kill DOS, tell them, I'm a disciple of Nnamdi Kanu. You must die. And you begin to kill DOS. But you see, the simple truth there is this. When you are killing DOS, you are killing Nnamdi Kanu, you are killing IPOB, but you don't know because you don't reason. In your mind, they don't brainwash you. They don't tell you, say, no, at DOS now you go kill. But it's not DOS that are telling you to go and kill. They are telling you to go and kill Nnamdi Kanu. Don't you know that? There is a saying, if somebody is after your father and they cannot get your father to kill your father, you know what they will do? They will go after the son. Because they know once they kill the son, they don't kill the father. Very simple truth. But the deceivers will not tell you the truth. They are pushing an agenda. They are pushing an agenda, but they cannot tell you the truth. They will just tell you, go and kill DOS, criminal. Criminal DOS, kill them all. Kill them all. And you now, because you're not educated, because you are very, very suffering from what I don't know. You have never, I don't know if you have even been into a school classroom before. You think so badly that your memory does not work anymore. You will carry the knife like a robot, looking for DOS so that you can kill DOS. But you don't know that the people that they want you to kill, or the person they want you to kill, is not DOS, but Nnamdi Kanu. Why do I say that? If you destroy DOS today, you have destroyed IPOB. You have destroyed Nnamdi Kanu. Because when you destroy DOS and you destroy IPOB, and then Nnamdi Kanu comes out tomorrow, because you're saying, our leader must be out, our leader must be out. Fair enough, but you want to kill his efforts. You want to kill the gains he have made all these years, and yet you say you love him. When he comes out from jail, he will look, there is no IPOB, there is no DOS, and you think he will clap for you. Nnamdi Kanu will clap for you, say to you, well done. Thank you for destroying DOS. Thank you for destroying IPOB. Nnamdi Kanu will clap for you. Don't you see that your mind has been messed up? Don't you see that they are using your brain? Your brain does not function anymore at all. It's like somebody telling you, go and kill the wife of this man and kill his son. Let's do it for this man. So how can that man come back to see that his wife is dead and his son is dead? Who killed it? The so-called friends. And you believe that that man will love you because you're going to tell him, no, I killed your son and your wife because they are stupid. I killed your wife and son because they are thieves, they are criminal. And you think the person will believe you that you did it with good intention. If you really love that man, what you would have done is to wait for him to come out. When he come out, you will go to him and say, do you know that when you were away, that your wife and your son were doing this and that, they are criminals, that they must be dealt with? Don't you think that is better? But because you don't reason, you are like a robot. They press you, go, you move, begin to act like a headless chicken. Kill. That's, like a robot. Kill, and you're moving. Kill. You're looking for whom to kill because you have been positioned. You have actually been, how do I put it? You have been actually programmed to move and go and kill without a reason, without giving an explanation why you should go and kill. IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, is an umbrella. It's an umbrella that unites all of us Biafrans. IPOB will never die. IPOB will never go away. Because what you are trying to do is to destroy the indestructible. What you are trying to do is to destroy something that can never be destroyed. IPOB. That's what I'm talking about. Because most of you have been wondering, why is it that IPOB is so difficult to destroy? And I told you, it's very simple. It is not magical. It is not black magic. It is something that is law of nature. What is law of nature? You cannot kill yourself. You cannot kill yourself. Because you are IPOB. And when you say you want to destroy IPOB, basically what you are saying is that you want to destroy yourself. And you know that cannot be true. You know that is a lie. But because you don't understand, because you lack the understanding, that is why they say to you, go and kill IPOB. And what they do is they say to you, go and destroy DOS because they are criminals. They don't mean destroy DOS. They mean destroy Nnamdi Kanu. Because when you destroy DOS, you have destroyed Nnamdi Kanu. When you destroy IPOB, you have destroyed Nnamdi Kanu. These people are enemies of Nnamdi Kanu and enemies of Biafra. Trust me when I tell you that. Sometime in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, or 2017, Lai Mohammed came out and said that they have actually captured Radio Biafra, and that Radio Biafra has been jammed, that Radio Biafra will never speak again on air. But till today, Radio Biafra is still talking after they have spent so much money. And yet, the same Radio Biafra we're talking about, the money that is being injected into Radio Biafra is very small compared to what the zoo controls, compared with what the zoo have actually mapped out for the destruction of Radio Biafra. Radio Biafra is still speaking to today. Now I'm asking you a question. If Lai Mohammed and the zoo called Nigeria could not destroy Radio Biafra, who can? Help me. Who can? Is it you? Is it your paymaster? Who can? I'm telling you that the zoo called Nigeria, they went to the satellite operator of IPOB and bought them over and cut off IPOB and hijacked or jammed IPOB. So they claim. A day later, Radio Biafra is back on air. And there were confusion among them, wondering what transpired. How did this happen? How is it possible that we cannot jam this common small radio? Because that's what they call it. It was not possible because Radio Biafra is an act of covenant of Biafran people. Radio Biafra is an act of covenant of Biafran people. Radio Biafra Bubuni we Biafra. And it's indestructible. You cannot destroy the ark of covenant of Biafra. You cannot destroy Ubunigwe Biafra. We have seen many people floated so much radio station on air. Till today, where are those radio? We have heard about Radio International. Today, where is Radio International? Dead and gone. And now, I'm hearing about this, what do they call this one now? It says, okay, VOB, Voice of Betrayal. They say VOB, Voice of Betrayal. They call it Voice of Betrayal. And now Voice of Betrayal want to compete with Radio Biafra. Something that is so dynamic, something that is very distinctive, something that stands alone, something that is so zurumpono. How are you planning? You and whose army? Sometimes it's good to choose your battle very, very well. Get your log, it's very shameful. It's going to be very embarrassing for you. Radio Biafra has been there time immemorial. When Radio Biafra, Radio International or whatever came out, we don't care. We never give a damn. We continue doing what we're doing until they fizzle away. Like I said, you cannot compete with something that is bigger than you. You cannot compete with something that is older than your father. You cannot. That is stupidity in the highest order. But of course, we will see how it goes. As for us, we must continue doing what is needful. And of course, the needful is to ensure that our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, is released from jail. To ensure that Biafra is restored. That will always be our work. Let people continue doing what they're doing. Let the weed, let the chaff start growing. Harvest is coming. On the day of harvest, we will know, we will separate weed from chaff. But one thing you should know about IPOB, we don't forget, we don't forgive. Trust me. Ifajuna tried it. Where is Ifajuna today? Obabia Seka tried it. Where is Obabia Seka today? As for VOB, Voice of Betrayal. Oh my God. Let me leave it here, great dear friends. I think I've given enough intro with regards to the topic of the day. We talked about jurisdiction, we talked about principle of legality, and of course we spoke now about IPOB against the rest of the world. What is it about IPOB that made IPOB so thick, so tough? And now you know why IPOB is a giant. Why IPOB, of course, by far is the mass movement, mass organization by none on this planet they call Earth. My name is Nnamdi, and I want to thank you all for listening. But before I go, there is something I want to bring to your notice, and I want you to understand, I want you to listen. And of course, I want you to ponder on it, and I want you to talk about it. Dave Umahi single-handedly came up with Ebube Atono. Dave Umahi single-handedly came out with Ebube Atono. He imposed Ebube Atono upon the Southeast governors. There were those who were not interested. Already there were ESN on the ground, which means there's no need for Ebube Atono. But because Dave Umahi has a long-time plan with Ebube Atono, that is why he was so pushy to ensure that Ebube Atono stands. Then he established Ebube Atono. But what some of you don't understand is that half of the members of Ebube Atono are not our people. There were mercenaries who are part of Ebube Atono, Fulanis that are part of Ebube Atono, Miyetti Alas that are part of Ebube Atono. You see all the killings you see happening in Biafra land, it has the handwriting of Ebube Atono all over it. Most of the members of Ebube Atono are from the Nigerian military. And this is one thing some of you don't know. Most of the members of Ebube Atono are from the Zoo military. If you check the operation of Ebube Atono, the modus operandi of Ebube Atono, how they operate, they kill, they burn down houses. Exactly the same way the Zoo military operates. That is the same way Ebube Atono operates. Why did Dave Umahi establish Ebube Atono? Very simple. Ebube Atono was actually established for one purpose. or should I say two purposes. Ebubachoro was established, number one, to destroy IPOB, to kill IPOBians, to kill our members in Biafra land, to kill Biafrans. That was why Dave Umahi established Ebubachoro, because Dave Umahi or whatever is his name, have an aspiration to be the vice president of the zoo called Nigeria. And he has promised his people, he has promised the zoo government that he's going to deliver, that he's going to ensure that IPOB is destroyed. Remember that the zoo military has withdrawn a bit. Why did the zoo military withdraw? The zoo military withdrew and then dropped their uniform and went and wore a Ebubachoro uniform. Ebubachoro is the zoo army. Ebubachoro is the zoo army. I don't know if you're listening to me. Ebubachoro is not something you know. It's not like your normal security outfit. It's not like the members are Biafrans or whatever. No, Ebubachoro is Nigerian army. They dressed up in Ebubachoro's uniform, and they are still continuing the killing. They are still continuing the burning down of houses and what have you. The same Ebubachoro. Biafra, Moronanya. These are not just ordinary people. These are Nigerian military. These are the zoo military in a Ebubachoro uniform. And their aims and objective is to destroy IPOB. But like I said, IPOB is indestructible. You cannot destroy IPOB. It's impossible, because Elohim set up IPOB for a purpose, and not until that purpose is completed, IPOB cannot be destroyed. It's as simple as that. Lai Mohammed recently told Nigerians that he needs people who are computer literate, that they are bringing $700 million to pay whoever is ready to get into work. What is the work he wants them to get into? To fight against IPOB, to start a media war against IPOB. He said that this IPOB, they don't sleep at night, that they are always on Facebook, that he needs youth who are computer literate, who are going to help him to go into fight, media war with IPOB. $700 million. Now you know where those people who are oppressing us, now you know where those infiltrators is getting their money from. It's very simple. They are handsomely rewarded. They are handsomely paid from Lai Mohammed and Dave Umahi. $700 million. That was what was mapped out for a war against IPOB. But this is we are still standing. We ain't going nowhere, because IPOB is indestructibly so. You can try, but you cannot win. All right, thank you very much, great Biafrans. Of course, I think this is how far we are going to speak about this. This is how far we are going to do this. And of course, I promise on